is your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 723rd edition of TSR Primetime, your nightly dose of toxic masculinity. Later on in the show, I am going to break down the dating show, Temptation Island, so you guys be sure to stay tuned for that. But let's go ahead and get to our first topic here. Give me a second here. I need to adjust a window just to make sure I know what's happening. There we go. We're looking good. Okay, perfect. Everything is good there. Perfect. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. I'm going to try to, I'm not going to do any of the, going to sort of change strategies here. I'm not going to do too much small talk. I'm going to just get right into it. And of course, there we go. Perfect. Okay. Excellent. One of the most ubiquitous and predictable rebuttals that our detractors like to use when disagreeing with us when we talk about what we talk about here is who hurt you, right? We've all heard it. We've all seen it. We see it here on YouTube. We see it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and of course, most recently, TikTok. Every time women hear unflattering truths about themselves, their go-to argument is, who hurt you? Now, there are a few reasons women like to ask us this. And keep in mind, guys, I want you to keep in mind, this is a rhetorical question, right? They don't really want the answer. Who hurt you? It's kind of a wannabe mic drop. They treat it like the big joker in spades. They think that as soon as they ask who hurt you, that they have won the argument. But getting back to the reasons women ask this disingenuous question in bad faith, well, there are three main reasons. Number one, the first reason women ask who hurt you is because they know they don't have an answer to what you're saying. They know that what you just said, posted, tweeted, live streamed, they know that it is 649% true. Skippy Peanut Butter in the chat says he's heard it in person. So have I. So have all of us. But as we all know, women will never acknowledge immutable truths about themselves if it puts them in a bad light. Guys, we all know that women, today's women, modern women, they avoid accountability like the plague. But they are deathly allergic to anything that makes them look bad. So when any given woman hears a guy like me say, well, most women don't break up with their boyfriends until they've started seeing someone else first, they go into damage control mode. They start denying it vehemently, knowing full well that she herself has someone waiting in the wings in her current relationship. Guys, women are professional liars, they're professional cheaters, and they are also professional public relations managers. They are their own client. They're their best client. This is why they go absolutely mental anytime anyone suggests that they aren't these amazing, beautiful, spectacular beings completely above reproach. Now, the second reason this is a go-to shaming tactic that women like to use is to disqualify you as an authority, to disqualify you as someone who has no idea what he's talking about. When women ask who hurt you in this particular context, they indirectly want you to believe that they believe that if you have failed with a woman, then you are automatically barred from giving anyone advice about dealing with women. Interestingly enough, they never apply that same standard to anything else. For example, Stephen Curry, we all know who he is, right? Golden State Warriors, 2-time MVP, 3-time NBA champion. Stephen Curry, as good a shooter as he is, he's missed a lot of shots in his career. In fact, Stephen Curry has missed most shots he has taken in his NBA career. So if you were doing a video or a tutorial or some sort of basketball camp teaching people how to shoot, would women say, okay, you're in the NBA, but how many shots have you missed, Mr. Curry? Of course not. Why? because he's the greatest shooter in NBA history. And to become the shooter he is today, he had to hone his craft. He had to practice. Right? Remember, when he was a kid, you guys have all seen the documentary. He was a skinny kid. We all saw him at Davidson, his jersey hanging off him. When he was young, he had to shoot it from the hip because he didn't have the strength to bring the ball above his head. He had to hone his craft. He had to practice. He had to take a lot of shots, which means he had to miss a lot of shots. Even women would acknowledge that it would be silly to base their opinion of Stephen Curry on only his missed shots. So when women say, "Who hurt you?" to guys like us, they're telling Stephen Curry's not a very good shooter because he's missed a lot more shots than he's taken his entire life. As ridiculous as this sounds, guys, this is what women tell us when they ask us, "Who hurt you?" They're telling us that we're not qualified to speak about how to handle women because we have failed a lot with more women than we've had success. Guys, listen, man, I tell you this all the time. For every success story I give you, there are 37 horror stories, 37 stories of failure. Right? Every man alive has failed with a lot more women than he's been successful with. Now, obviously, women know this is BS because even they understand that getting good at anything, you would think, requires practice and repetition. One would think that they know that with practice and repetition comes with failure. With failure comes adjustments, and eventually success is achieved. So pointing to someone's failures as a response to their success is about as dumb as trying to nail Jell-O to a tree. Now, the third reason women use this shaming tactic, and it's actually tied to the second reason. Yes, women love to point out our failures with women as a way to disqualify us as experts, but they also like to point out our failures with women to simply point and laugh at us. Right? To highlight the fact that we've endured emotional pain at the hands of a woman. They are pointing the finger at you and saying, "Ha ha, you got played, you got embarrassed, you got your heart broken, ha ha ha." I got people in my TikTok comments all the time telling me, "You're still not over your breakup with Amy." Dude, that was 10 years ago, man. Tatiana played you like a fiddle. Victoria cheated on you with her ex-boyfriend and you're still salty about it. All they're doing here is pointing out that something bad happened to you and laughing about it. Now, they ask you who hurt you in this context to also humanize you. They do this to take you down a peg, to let everyone know that you have cried about a woman or that you made a fool of yourself because of a woman, or a woman made you look bad, a woman embarrassed you, and all the rest of that. The reason they do this is because and stay with me here, guys, this is going to sound crazy at first, but stay with me. The reason they do this, and they only do this with certain dudes, but the reason they do this is because they actually respect the authority with which you speak, and it scares them. You are so rock solid and precise, surgical with your talking points, that when women hear this stuff, they could subconsciously think, "Uh-oh, this guy is really convincing." I mean, I know he's telling the truth, but most of these red pill guys are just dorks and incels, but this dude is well put together. He speaks well. His thoughts are well organized, and he is describing the kinds of things I happen to be doing right now to the letter. I need to make him look stupid by letting everyone know that he is not Mr. Perfect and that he has been humiliated by women before. That will take him down a peg. Guys, that entire subconscious thought pattern manifests itself through the words, "Who hurt you?" And when spoken in this context, women are not only co-signing what you're saying, they're also telling you that they admire you and may even be turned on by you. It's almost, dare I say, like an indirect, purposeless shit test, right? Like normally when you start talking to a girl and she starts to feel herself becoming attracted to you, It is in her programming to test you to ensure that you are who you present yourself to be. So when a woman asks who hurt you, she's doing almost the same thing. She's not really asking this to throw you off. She thinks she is, but she isn't. No, what she's really doing is testing you to see if you see through this disingenuous rhetorical question that is asked in bad faith 102 out of 100 times. Because if you can, it verifies your sexual market value. Case in point, on that legendary podcast with the Silver Sable, she asked Myron Gaines, who hurt you? She asked him that. Myron showed her that he understood why she asked the question. That turned her on, and they may or may not have smashed. So those are your three most common reasons women use the who hurt you shaming tactic. But now I'm going to point out the two reasons this shaming tactic is completely fraudulent and why it's fraudulent. The first reason is that women are snowflaking when they ask who hurt you. Stay with me here, guys. They are snowflaking when they ask who hurt you. By asking you this question, women are insinuating that there is only one female in existence capable of lying, cheating, engaging in bad behavior as a significant other. OMG, they say out loud. Who was the one woman who committed these unspeakable crimes that I have never even come close to thinking about? I mean, I read about these kinds of women, and I see them on TV, but I've never actually met one in real life. But you had a relationship with her. Tell me all about her. Did she act the way she's portrayed in the legendary Lost Scrolls of the 1% of women who are terrible to men? These women out here act like they think nefarious, deceitful, unfaithful women are as rare as Bigfoot. That's the first element. The second element is a direct insult to you. Not only did you go against a centuries-old advice to disobey the wisdom of the Lost Scrolls, to stay away from these rare creatures that have only been photographed from afar, you were dumb enough to get into a relationship with her. You are so stupid, Mr. Misogynist. You are so stupid that you committed to the only nefarious, deceitful woman who has ever existed in the history of time. Guys, this is bullshit. We know it, and they know it. Women know damn well how they operate. They know how they monkey branch. They know how they cheat. They know they lie. They know they make terrible wives, mothers, and girlfriends. But they want you to think they're unaware of their own nature. Now, the second reason this counter argument is a fugazi is that women act like it's one relationship with one woman that shaped our views in terms of how they move in relationships. As if to imply that all it took was one relationship with the only terrible woman who has ever lived to come to the conclusions that we've come to about all women. Women are out here acting like we all just decided to get together and make up stories about them. They're acting like we all woke up one day and said to ourselves, hey, our little message boards back of it, hey, you know what? I have an idea. Let's completely detonate the dating market by making up stories about how terrible women are. We'll make up stories about how they lie. We'll come up with these juicy stories about how they cheat. We can tell stories about what happens in the court system. We can create an entire smear campaign to make them look bad. This is how they act, gentlemen. This is how they act. But the truth is, millions of men have had the same experience with millions of women millions of times over. No man has ever formulated an opinion on relationship after just one relationship. When the same things continue to happen to him, he rightfully concludes that women behave in a particular way in relationships. And when he keeps seeing the same things, that man eventually asks himself, am I the only one who's going through this? Am I the only guy whose girlfriend cheated on me with her boss? Am I the only guy who acted like I was cool with her texting her ex only to find out she was still sleeping with him? Am I the only guy whose wife had another man's child while she was married to me? Am I the only guy whose wife took him to the cleaners and divorce court? Am I the only guy who got dumped by his girlfriend a week before spring break and then got a "I miss you" text a week before Thanksgiving? Am I the only guy who got his girlfriend stolen by her personal trainer? Am I the only husband who ignored my wife's late night texting? Am I the only guy who found out his girlfriend was cheating on him 2 weeks after she told me I was husband material? Then after he asks himself, he asks the internet. And the internet clearly told him, oh no, you most certainly are not the only guy who has gone through this. Women love to play dumb, don't they? They love to play dumb. They just love to give the impression that they are unaware of their own thoughts, actions, and motivations. They love to play dumb when their friends ask her, you know Bobby wants to sleep with you, right? And she says, how dare you imply such things? I'll have you know that Bobby's intentions are as pure as my chastity. Who hurt you is quite simply another shaming tactic and a long line of deflection techniques designed to make us think that they have won the argument. But men here in this community, we know it's the opposite. The phrase, who hurt you, is womanese for, you are right about me and every woman I know, but I can't acknowledge that you are right. Otherwise, I would have to pretend to be different. Ladies, it's time to come up with something other than who hurt you. That shit's played out, and it's only used by those who know that you have lost the argument. Shout out to Red Pill Mike with the $100 super chat. Says, I can personally vouch that every woman has treated me awesome except for that one girl back in college. And due to that one experience, I now view all of those awesome women as evil to the core. Clearly, even when you put it in written word, it is still illogical. Real talk. Kayvon Slims, $2, says, it's a disarming tactic. It used to be a disarming tactic. Now it is an arming tactic. As soon as a woman says, who hurt you? You're getting ready. You're getting ready. Okay, guys. So the next dating show I have decided to break down is Temptation Island. Temptation Island. The show's been around for a little while, then it went away for a little while, but now it's back. Now it's back. Now the premise of the show, it's extremely juicy. What this dating show does is it takes 4 or 5 couples off to an island to test their relationships. The man and the woman are both allowed to date other people on the island, and at the end of the show, they decide whether or not they want to stay together. Simple enough, right? Well, here is where it gets really, really juicy. The couples aren't the only people there. There are also like 20-something men and 20-something women. They're all attractive. They're all hot, right? And their objective is to effectively split up these couples or start a relationship with one of these people who are in a relationship. As with all of my previous dating show breakdowns, this will all be completely organic. I will be watching these episodes for the very first time. So you're going to be getting my genuine reaction, my genuine commentary, genuine wisdom. You guys know how I do it. I tell you what's really going on. Now, everyone will be able to watch the breakdown right now and in living color. But not going to be able to watch it on YouTube. Not going to be able to watch it on MGTOW.tv. Not going to be able to watch it on Twitch, Instagram, or Facebook. You can watch it on SharpStream, which is my very own streaming platform, and you can watch whether you are a patron or not. That's right, guys. I have officially made SharpStream available to the public. Anyone can watch, whether you are a patron or not. Anyone can watch SharpStream, whether you're a patron or not. Devin is spamming it in the chat. Sharpstream.com, just like it sounds, just like it's spelled. Now, if you want to be able to comment and watch and get access to the live replay, that's where you have to be a patron. $5 a month, guys. What is that? 17 cents a day. But listen, man, if you can't afford $5 a month, or you're like, dude, screw this, I'm not giving Donovan $5 a month, no problem. I'm not going to take it personally. You can be a ninja watcher. You don't have to be pressured to hit the like button. You can be a ninja watcher, get all the unfiltered educational content that got me into all kinds of trouble with YouTube early on in my podcasting career. So if you want to watch the live breakdown of Temptation Island, go to sharpstream.com right now and let the good times roll. So at this time, I'm going to say goodbye to my Instagram audience, my Facebook audience, my Twitch audience, my MGTOW.tv audience, and of course, my YouTube audience. Click the link right now. Devin is spamming it in the chat. I think it's also in the description. Click the link right now to come to SharpStream to get the raw, unfiltered breakdowns that would get me destroyed in the YouTube or any algorithm for that matter. I'm going to put the timer clock on, and I'll give you guys a few minutes to get over there. And when I cut the stream from all of the other platforms, with the exception of SharpStream, I got a little surprise for you guys. Here we go. All right, guys. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you to my my YouTube audience, MGTOW.tv, Instagram, my Twitch audience, and my Facebook audience. I bid you farewell for now. Sharpestream.com if you want to watch my dating show breakdowns, starting with Temptation Island.